Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today on the hashtag Blackout Podcast, me and Jay talk about Beyonce's Salty Lemonade. We talk about our expectations of the Captain America Civil War movie, and we talk about Drake's views from the Six. What is that about? All this and more on today's episode of the hashtag Blackout Podcast. Let's do this!
Are you listening? Damn.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the hashtag Blackout Podcast. I'm Jared, and I'm here with Mr. J.
That's me.
I'm here with Mr. J, who's ready to talk. So what's up, dude?
Nothing much, man. How's it going?
Man, pretty good, pretty good. You have a good week?
My week was interesting, very interesting yesterday. God, I don't know if I want to go into the story, but
it's all good.
Let's just say everybody who's in a corporate environment should definitely read the fine print on their emails. Ooh. So throughout the time I've been at my company, there's been emails going around every once in a while that say, hey, we're having free pizza. Come to the lobby or come to this particular room, get you some free pizza. So this past week, there's emails going around that say, hey, we're having Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A sandwiches will be here. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, cool. Cool. That's great. That's great. They're supporting the Heart Walk movement, and whatnot. So yesterday was the day you go pick up your free sandwich. So one of the bosses come by and he says, hey, you guys going to get a sandwich? Like, yeah, let's go. So I Skyped a couple of my coworkers and it's like, hey, you going to get a free sandwich? And they're like, no, we're about to leave for lunch. I'm like, dude, it's free. Free food. I don't turn down free food. Right. Let's go. Right. We have a 2:00 snack. So we get up, we go, make it to the line. My coworker, she grabs her sandwich. And the guy that was standing, not directly handing out the sandwiches, but he's there and he's like, that'll be $5.
What?
And we're thinking it's a joke because, sometimes you get something free and somebody say, hey, it's cost this much money.
Yeah.
So we're thinking it's a joke and she's just laughing and whatnot. I grab my sandwich and we start talking to the guy and he's like, no, really, it's $5. And we're still thinking it's a joke, complete joke. So I'm like, how about an IOU? And then he has his hand out like he's ready for money. I'm like, okay,
no,
how about I shake your hand? He's like, no, it's really $5. And he just jerks his hand back like,
what?
I'm not touching you, dude. It's really $5. And I'm like, oh crap, really?
Yeah.
It's like, and then he says, okay, so maybe your boss is going to pay for it. I'm like, where's your boss? Who's your boss? I'm like, and suddenly here comes one of the bosses. I'm like, oh, there he is. And we're still thinking it's a joke.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And he just looks at us. Our boss looks at us and he's like, wait, what's going on? It's like the sandwiches are $5. So he pulls out his wallet, hands the people $20, so $5 for me, $5 for, my other coworker. And then, other coworker, 2 sandwiches.
Wow.
So that was $20 right there. And we're just like all embarrassed because we did not think it was actually $5. We just completely thought it was a joke. So we're just walking back to our office, just completely confused as to what happened. So we go back, we check the email, and there it is, $5 in the email.
So dude was telling the truth. He wasn't just trying to.
No, he was telling the truth, and we were just so embarrassed by that, dude. So
what did your boss say? Like, did your boss not know too, or was he just like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and take care of you guys so you can save face?
He just took care. I'm assuming he knew.
Yeah. I
mean, this was like our bigger boss, not our supervisor, but our supervisor's supervisor.
Okay.
So we see him every once in a while and whatnot. So, after lunch, we went to the ATM, got some money out and tried to deliver it to our boss, as a thank you for doing that for us. But he like turned it down and he gave us the money back. And he's like, no. You guys go ahead and keep this. It was a pleasure. You guys work hard. So I'm going to do this for you guys. But still, the whole time, that was just a completely embarrassing moment. And and my coworkers, they keep like joking with me about it because they never heard me go into like joke mode. It was like, hey, how about an IOU?
Yeah.
How about a handshake? So it's going to be the running joke for like the next, probably forever.
Yeah,
for a long time. As long as they keep sending those emails about pizza or some kind of food, I'm sure it'll always come back up.
What's going to be funny is when that next email comes out, like company wide, come and pick up your food, blah, 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 pizza party, whatever. at the bottom is going to say, and P.S. Jay, bring $5.
Yeah, it's crazy because they took pictures. They were taking pictures at the in the lobby too as we were getting sandwiches. So I was joking. I'm like, watch the next email. They're gonna have our 3 faces on the bottom. It's like, don't serve these guys food because they think it's free.
Man, that dude, that's so funny, man. That's so funny. Be like, watch out for these guys.
Man, I swear, dude. I bet next week is gonna be. They're gonna remind me of it.
You might be that person that cost everybody free food for a while.
It's possible. It could be me.
Like,
blame it all on Jay.
We don't never get free food no more. It's Jay's fault, man.
Yeah, I'll take it though.
That's funny. Wow. Well, that didn't happen to me this week at work. I definitely have to say that. But yeah, man, I would say this week was a little all over the place. And the couple things that I remember, that I brought back from this week. One thing is people in this world are starting to not know how to drive. Like, it is horrible. Oh, yeah. I've driven it in a whole lot of towns, around this country. And let me just say, I got to say this. Number one, Houston drivers, while they are crazy and everybody thinks that they're a NASCAR driver, they actually are some of the better drivers in this country. Now, if somebody doesn't agree with me, please let me know. But in Texas, there is like a sense of like Southern hospitality. I think that goes all along the Gulf Coast. There's a sense of Southern hospitality. So like if they see somebody, coming up behind them that's going a little fast, if there's space in the next lane, people will get over for you. I've even had people on a 2-lane highway get into the right-hand median, so I could pass. Or I've seen them, do that for other people so they could pass. So like there is always like a sense of decorum, a sense of hospitality. Okay, I'm not going to like rage speed up so you can't pass me. And I'm not going to like rage slow down and slam on my brakes, even though there's a lot of that crap that goes on too. Yeah. Especially in Dallas, man. D-Town is bad.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, man, I was on the road this past week and I got cut off by 2 separate guys. One of them actually didn't put their signal on. And I mean, I was driving. I really didn't know, my whereabouts. I'm just driving. We're all in the middle of traffic, but the traffic is flowing. I'm like within like 2 car lengths of an 18-wheeler right in front of me. And this dude is coming in from an off ramp and he just buzzes in, like doesn't even throw on his signal. Right. He just buzzes right in. So then, I honk at him. I flash my lights, I flip up my hands or whatever. Like, what the heck are you doing? And he starts flicking me off. And, so basically I trailed him for a little bit and then I like pulled out to the side of him and like, didn't even like give him the time of day, didn't even look over at him. I was just sort of shaking my head in disgust. And come to find out, dude like exited a mile later, but he was like throwing his hands up at me. He was flipping me off inside and outside the window. He was like tapping on his brakes. I was like, man, come on, man. Really? Wow. That's crazy. It'd be one thing if dude put on his signal, like I would have slowed down and let him in. You know what I'm saying? Like just to let him in because it looked like the on ramp was starting to run out of space. But I don't know, it pissed me off. And then man, yesterday I'm on my way back from work and similar situation, but a lot less traffic in this situation. I'm riding in the left-hand lane, and where I live, there's an HOV lane that's, easy to access from the freeway. There's no like medians between the HOV. You could just get over in it. We know if there's a dotted line, not the double white line. Right. So I'm driving in the left lane, not in the HOV lane because I'm by myself in the car. And no one's in front of me. So I'm just humming along at about 75 miles per hour. And then there's 2 cars that, are starting to get over from 2 lanes over, trying to, going my way. So I'm like, all right, whatever. But one of the cars is far enough ahead of me to where I'm like, all right, that's cool. Dude's going to get over. He has on the signal, perfect. No worries there. The dude right behind him was literally like right on my front bumper. He was within like 5 feet maybe of my front bumper. So very dangerous, right? Yeah. This time the dude did throw on his signal, which, hey, great. You threw on your signal. But, at that point, you have to realize there's somebody going faster than me. So maybe I should slow down and wait to get over. Or maybe I should speed up before I get over. No, this dude actually, it seemed like he slowed down a little bit as he's getting over. So, I slammed my brakes a little bit, so I could slow down. And I'm honking at the dude. wave my hands. And he does the same thing, puts his hand up like, what the
Wow.
heck? And then I did a gesture of like, why are you going to get in front of me when you're right in front of me? You know what I'm saying? When you're right on my tail.
Yeah.
So, or right on my nose. And then the dude's just flipping me off the whole time. So I sped up and looked over at the dude, and he's with another guy, and they're just sitting there smiling. The dude's like flipping me off. And man, I'm telling you, man, some of these times this rage, dude, this is why I listen to comedy podcasts.
Yeah.
And like while I'm driving home.
Just to keep the smile on your face.
Sanity, man, because I'd be ready to like if I didn't have a wife and kids, if I was younger and I had like something that was disposable in my car, I would have thrown it at that dude.
Yeah.
Straight
up.
up.
Oh man.
Yeah, so that was, I call that the guy in the Arizona State Kia, because he had an Arizona State Sun Devil sticker on his back window, and he had a white Kia, which looked like one of those little boxes, and it was sort of like an SUV, and the other guy that cut me off was also in a white SUV. So what is the deal with white trucks or white SUVs? Just crazy drivers or what?
That's insane, man. And that's so crazy. That's a scary situation, because I know here in Texas, there's been times where I've seen actually on the road, people get crazy road rage like that. And I've seen a couple ladies, it's always women.
Yeah.
Well, here. Yeah. But anyway, a couple ladies, man, I saw this one lady just throwing all kinds of crap out the window at another car, and they're just chasing each other through traffic.
That's freaking crazy.
Even, I think like a few months ago, there was an incident where some kind of road rage incident where a guy pulls out a gun and shoots through the window, shoots back at another car and kills a woman on the road.
Crazy.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a scary situation. It
is a scary situation, but people they just need to learn. They just need to remember what they were taught when they went through driver's ed. Now, I'm gonna just go ahead and throw this out there, because I know a lot of people that know me, my wife included, will be quick to point this out. I did not take driver's ed class. I was actually taught to drive by my dad at a very young age, like at 14. I think I first started to learn how to drive. And,
I didn't take driver's ed either.
And I mean, I got my driver's license legally. I had to take the test. I read through the whole driver's handbook, the pamphlet, and on my driver's license test, I actually had a Texas state trooper in the car with me, with the clipboard, checking this and that and giving commands as I was driving. So I was freaked out.
Yeah.
I got my license. I've only been in one accident in my entire life, and it was the fault of the person behind me who caused a 4-car accident.
Yeah.
And so, knock on wood, and thank God for, just one accident. But I'm just saying, I'm not a horrible driver out on these streets. So I'm not just like saying stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, man, let me just tell you, like here in the state of Utah, this is the absolute worst place to drive in the world, I think. Like outside of some like third world countries, like this probably has to be the worst place in America. At least the worst place I ever drove. And I have a lot of friends who visited here, who either grew up here and moved, came back to visit, or people who live here who moved from other places, or who have driven a lot of places say the same thing. People who live here say the same thing their entire life. So it's crazy on these streets. So
I bet.
That's one thing. And then the other thing, real quick, last week, I guess this would be a good segue. Last week we talked about, cartoons and cereal, and yesterday my kids, had a little, elementary school performance, and the guy, who's a very talented musician, was leading the performance, but he decided to do some comedic songs by himself with him and his wife. And so the first song he did, he whipped out the Alvin and the Chipmunks Christmas song, and he had the voice. So this dude must have listened to last week's podcast and was like, oh, I know Jared's in the audience. So I'll go ahead and sing this Alvin and the Chipmunks. I'll go ahead and hurt his ears. Man, I'm telling you, man, it was so high pitched, and kids were just laughing. Yeah, and I was like, oh man, you're about to give me a headache. I got to get up out of here. So yeah, we left not long after that. Scooped up the kids after their performances were over, and left before the last song finished. But it was good. But yeah, man, I just wanted to point that out. That freaking cartoon popped its ugly head back up. And speaking of cartoons, we had some people, hit us back with some messages this week. We had Mr. Steve on SoundCloud told us that we forgot Gargoyles, Silverhawks, Mighty Max, and Cops.
Yes, I remember those.
I remember Gargoyles and Silverhawks. I don't really remember Mighty Max and Cops that much, but Yeah, but thank you, Steve, for that. Shout out to you there. And then this other guy at Gustavo Bolivar on IG told me that we forgot Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner. We were talking about Bugs Bunny. I mean, dang, how could I forget those?
Yeah. I mean, those are definite icons. I mean, they're still relevant today.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
I mean, the thing is, there's so many that we didn't cover. Oh, yeah. There's so many, and I'm sure in the future we're going to do a part 2.
Yeah, we got to
possibly even do a part 3. Maybe we'll even bring in a guest host to share some insight with us.
That would be fun. Oh, and you pointed out one thing, the MC Hammer cartoon.
Yes. And the Kid and Play. There was Kid and Play cartoon back in the day, too.
Oh, dang. Man. So much good stuff. So much good stuff. So, yeah. So, thank you for that. We also want to shout out to Nicole or Nikki, I believe, from on SoundCloud, who told us a good review on the Batman and Superman movie. She can't wait to check it out. So, yeah, man, appreciate those shout outs.
Yes.
And everyone else who sent us some feedback, everyone who voted in our polls. So we really, really do appreciate that. But yeah, man, is there anything you could think of that we forgot to mention?
Let's see. Yes, I did happen to find out the little black kid from the Pac-Man cereal commercial.
Okay.
And he, oddly, was in Kids Incorporated, if anybody remembered that from, I think Kids Incorporated ran from like 1984 up until the early 90s. I don't think he lasted that long, but
that was one of the best shows ever.
I honestly think his name was Rashawn Patterson. It looks exactly like the kid.
Yeah.
And I really want to say that was him. And anybody else out there that didn't know, Kids Incorporated actually spawned Fergie, who was in the Black Eyed Peas and, of course, has a solo career, and Mario Lopez.
Nice.
So, yeah, there you have it.
Knowledge right there. That's crazy.
Yes.
Fergalicious and Mario. I wonder if they dated, like, when they were in Kids Incorporated.
Oh, my God. They were too young. I hope not.
Young love, you know.
You know what? I wonder if they were in the same seasons or the same, I don't know. I have to go and look that up.
Yeah, that's funny. If anybody knows Rashawn Patterson and knows for a fact he was in Kids Incorporated, if anybody knows Fergie or Mario Lopez,
or if he was in the Pac-Man commercial,
tell him to call us up. Yeah. tell him to hit us up on in our email or Instagram or wherever, and confirm or deny anything that we just talked about. So that would be cool. That's good info. That's some digging deep right there. You found that dude. Maybe we should look up his IMDb page, see if we can really find some info on him. So getting back into the show, man, there's so much crazy stuff went on over the past week and a half, even since our last episode. A couple things. We already talked about Prince in the last episode. So Prince passed. We already know that. They say they think it was from a little possible over medication, which is pretty sad. I know that, he had been dealing with a little bit of illness. So it's very sad for Prince. And then also the wrestler Chyna passed away. I believe it was on the same day.
Yeah, same day. And then I forgot the woman's name. She passed later on that day, but I think she starred in Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh, yeah. Doris Roberts.
Yeah, was it later that day or maybe the next day? I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, let's see, April 17th. So it might have been the same day. So
right.
That's very sad, and she was hilarious. Yeah, man. So very sad for those people who passed away and their families, and we send our thoughts out to them.
Yes.
All very talented in their own right. But speaking of Chyna, yeah, she was apparently trying to make a little bit of a comeback to the WWF. And I think she was going to have like her last hurrah, maybe like an old man Logan style, like from the Wolverine comic, be like an older wrestler. But yeah, I heard it was from, she passed from, having too many sleeping pills.
That's sad.
That's what they say. It's an accidental overdose on prescription sleeping pills. And Valium. So that's very sad. All that stuff, very sad. So, yeah. So, on from the sad stuff to a little bit of cray. Okay. Brittany Griner, ex-Baylor basketball player, current WNBA star. Brittany Griner, had to pay child support to her ex. to her ex had to pay child support. So it's
That's
crazy.
great. That's
it's
good.
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy when when a woman has to pay the child support. In this day and age, it's a lot more guys that have to pay the child support.
Right.
So that is pretty wild. But she was born in my hometown, H-Town, baby. Didn't know that, but it's all good. And then another thing, I don't know if you saw this, but okay, in Ontario, Canada, right? Ontario, I guess the town of Windsor. This school called Central Catholic. They're Central Catholic Comets. They had like this amazing 6'9" basketball player.
I know what you're talking about.
Who was a Sudanese refugee, right? His name was Jonathan Nicolas. And dude apparently was a baller. There's some videos on YouTube showing this guy playing, and I mean he has some pretty great skills. Like I guess he'd been there since around November 2015,
right?
Playing, and I guess he helped them. I don't know if he helped them win a championship, but he at least played on the team and was really really good. And he towered over pretty much everybody, everybody that he played with. But this guy, he lived at the coach's house. He was over 200 pounds, so he's like a tall guy. Big. He was like a thick, so he was like a great size basketball player. Everybody thought, he's going to be a good college prospect.
Right.
Come to find out, dude is not 17 years old as he was acting like. Dude's 30 years old.
With a family.
The big 3-0. He had a family?
I don't know. I'm just throwing that in there.
I was going to say, maybe he did back in the Sudan. But yeah, man, he was an old dude. And I mean, even when you look at him, he looks old.
Wow.
You know how people say like LeBron James is like really probably like 20 years older than he is? This dude is 30, but he looks like 45 or 50.
Right.
Maybe not 50, but like he looks old.
That's crazy.
If you see a close up, you could tell dude needs to shave. I mean, he shaves, all the time. You can see the little bumps, which maybe people like he played it off as being acne. Yeah, man. I mean,
so I'm wondering how did he get even registered for school? Did he register himself, or did he register as a foreign exchange student?
Yeah, well, I know Canada has this really cool program, and they basically like find homes for foreign students, for foreign refugees. Coming from different countries. So that's why he was living with the coach. Actually, he lived with the coach, for a while because they were trying to, find him just a good home while he was here. And I guess he didn't come with any family with him. He was by himself. Yeah. I mean, it was like he came in and he registered, as that age. He came into the country saying, "Yeah, I'm this age." I came from Sudan. I play basketball, blah, blah, blah. And then his coach is Pete Cusimano. And apparently the coach was clueless as to how old this kid was. This kid, I mean, shoot, the dude is just a few years younger than us. And I mean, he lived there. He was balling. Like he was, I guess some of his highlights, only said that he scored, like a max of like 10 or 13 points, 15 points. So, I mean, I guess he wasn't like really like, raining threes or anything like that, but in his
probably raining rebounds.
Yeah. But probably in his in some of the videos I see, I mean, dude has a nice stroke. He's got some handle on him. Pause. He's got that stroke. Okay. Now, but no, anyway, the border patrol, border services in Canada, who is like super strict. So I don't know how they missed this. They actually arrested him. They're detaining him for violating the Immigrant Refugee Protection Act, which basically, like I said, protects, refugees and sort of helps them find a way in life once they get to Canada. So, man. So I would say the person who like registered that dude into the school, maybe the coach, maybe the border services official in Canada, who like interviewed the guy and brought him in, let him register and get into the country. Maybe all those people, should have a line of questioning. Like, what the heck were you thinking? You know what I'm saying?
That is definitely strange.
Yeah, I mean, he apparently he was being a good kid. wasn't causing any trouble. He wasn't trying to hook up with any girls.
Okay, I was just about to ask that.
yeah. I mean, by all accounts, like he was just like acting like a first class citizen. Like, it'd be one thing if he was trying to hit on girls, being like a 30-year-old and 16, 17-year-old girls. But no, apparently, he was just living the life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
and was he in like 12th grade, or that's what he registered as, or?
He registered. I think he registered as a 17-year-old. So
I wonder if the grading system is like the same in Canada. I have no clue about Canadian school systems.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's pretty dead on with America. But yeah, so he could have either been playing as a junior or a senior.
Okay,
I don't know, but look for the dude, the 30-year-old Canadian basketball player, and just let us know. What do you think? Send him home or no? Fire the coach. The coach said he was clueless about it, but he was living with him. So, so I don't know, man. We just really want to know about that.
Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't like, dropping 30 on everybody, because maybe he's just trying to lay low and not set his profile too high. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. That's nuts. What do you have crazy to talk about?
Craziness this week, or just craziness in general?
Just anything you could think of.
Man, I'm thinking about. I know you mentioned Prince earlier, and I know we were talking about all these fans coming out the woodwork.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's a little too late to show your appreciation for such a good artist. But, I guess if you get into him now, then hey, that's good, but, don't come out saying you were a diehard fan and you didn't even know his catalog until after he died. So,
yeah. Wow. You know what? According to Billboard, it said more than 4 million Prince albums and songs have been sold or downloaded since his death.
Yes.
Like since he passed.
Since he passed.
Excuse me. Yeah. So if you're a fan, you probably have, some of his music before, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, you're right about that. Don't come after the fact. Let him know now,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not going to say I was the hugest Prince fan, but, I liked him. I liked him a lot. I liked, not like I was checking for his new albums or anything like that. I have Purple Rain album. Of course, that was like probably his biggest album to date. And then I have like a greatest hits double CD album, but I wasn't the hugest fan, but I did have an appreciation for him. I heard he played like upwards to like 27 different instruments. And I don't think he had any formal training with that. So it was all learned on his own. So
yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's just wild. Yeah, I didn't have a ton of his music. I mean, I remember a lot of the music from when I was a child, so I didn't really have to buy any, I guess. What I'm saying? But yeah, man. But I know we posted a couple of posts about him, and showed our appreciation, and it's it goes along the lines of you're gonna miss me when I'm gone, to quote
exactly
to quote some music, So yeah, so I mean, you don't really know what you have until he's gone. I mean, when Michael Jackson passed away, like I know it wasn't too long ago when he passed away. It was about 10 years or so. But if we had downloadable music, the Apple Music setup and Spotify and everything, then like we have it now. Yeah, Michael Jackson probably would have, had.
Yeah, like I'm sure his
like 100 million songs downloaded.
Right, exactly. I know it's weird. I always hear they used to pin Prince up against Michael Jackson. And I know Chris Rock made jokes about it as well. So I always wondered about that, whether they had like off, little beefs off, in their own little musical world. Like behind stage or anything like that. Even though I know I don't think they performed together at any time in their lives, but it was just so funny to reminisce about some of those jokes and those conversations about who's better, Prince or Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Oh man, you can't even, like they're two total different ball games, but they're both the same. You know what I'm saying? I would just say equals. It's hard.
I mean, one thing I really do think it's commendable for Prince is that he stayed out of any type of controversy. He's never in the public's eye of doing anything shady or quote unquote molesting little boys or things like that, like Michael Jackson was said to have done. But yeah, it's pretty commendable that you could stay out of that eye for that long. And he's been in the business since late 70s.
That's definitely commendable. That's a cool thing, that yeah, he didn't want to be, one of those stars that's just out there and doing all kinds of controversial stuff, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
So at least, not at this, last 10, 20 years, of his career, of his life. So, yeah, so definitely, craziness with the fans coming out of nowhere. Oh man, speaking of the fans, so
here we go.
Let's go ahead and get into this. Okay, so the Beehive has spoken. Lemonade. Beyonce and her Beehive. Oh Lord, man. Women like around the world went bananas when that Lemonade visual album showed up on HBO this past weekend. Like it was crazy. All of a sudden, Jay-Z's Twitter, Jay-Z's Instagram, and then a couple other people's Twitter and Instagram just like blew up. And if you weren't on the side of Beyonce, then you got your Twitter or Instagram blew up with emojis of lemons and bees. And yeah, man, during this Lemonade album, Mrs. Sasha Fierce herself basically, made it seem like, she was talking about relationship problems that she's had with Jay-Z, infidelity.
Right.
Jay-Z might have been,
unfaithful
with some other woman. Yeah. Unfaithful. All of a sudden, it shot up to number 1 on iTunes, like immediately. And then there was a line in one of the songs talking about, go find Becky with the good hair. And then simultaneously, like almost simultaneously, maybe like the next day or whatever, this lady named Rachel Roy, who used to be Damon Dash, the producer, who used to be Jay-Z's buddy. She used to be married to Damon Dash. And apparently people think, that Jay-Z cheated with her, on Beyonce. And they thought that, that was Becky with the good hair. So Rachel Roy actually posted, an Instagram picture, that said, good hair, don't care, but we need lighting for, good selfies, something like that. She was taking a picture with her friend, and then it had a hashtag, no drama queens here. So people, thought that to mean, oh, this is the Becky with the good hair. Yeah. This is why Solange was beating up Jay-Z in the elevator a couple years ago, and why Beyonce really didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? While she was doing that. So I don't know. It's so freaking crazy, man. What do you think about that?
Honestly, I could care less about Beyonce. Sorry, Beehive. Don't want to cause any reaction.
Oh no, that hashtag Beehive's gonna come and get us.
Oh man, but I could care less about Beyonce and her problems. But I didn't see the whole Lemonade or her visuals for Lemonade.
I got to see some of it.
I think the only thing I saw was what was the? Dang it! I forgot the name of the her song that she had. The one that was in New Orleans, that filmed in New Orleans.
Oh, the one where she was
Reformation? Is it Reformation? Formation.
Yes,
Why did I get Reformation? Anyway, yeah, Formation. I love the visuals. I like the song as a whole. But I can't say that I love Beyonce as a whole, as her whole this whole aura around her. That surrounds her, all her, just the music that she gets out of there. I can't say that I love it, but, and I don't know exactly what the whole meaning behind the Lemonade. I mean, I'm sure she has her own definition, and people will say what they think it is just from listening to the lyrics. I mean, we don't know these people's lives. Yeah. We don't know what's going on.
That's true.
So just to make an assumption like that something is rocky in their relationship, let's not throw gasoline at a little spark and make it something bigger.
Yeah, I mean, she okay, so first of all, in the Super Bowl, she got a lot of backlash. She got a lot of flack for, basically dressing up like a female Black Panther.
Right.
And I had no problem with that. She was
problem
doing
at
a
all.
performance, and she's the type of artist that and maybe she has noticed from other artists that if you can put on a show, if you could put on, if you can make it a visual experience as well as an experience that you hear, I guess audible experience, whatever, make somebody feel something by, watching your performance and the way you sing your song, your vocal inflection.
Right.
I think so. I think she dropped that into her performance there. She obviously dropped it into this line of 12 songs and 12 distinct songs on this almost hour-long video. She killed it. Like she did her performance. I do like some of Beyonce's songs. I don't really care for some of them, but like overall, I would say I'm a fan of hers. I'm not like one that's going to be out there like waiting for her to drop everything.
You're not a die hard.
But if she has a tune that comes out that's catchy and I like the beat, I'll definitely want to listen to it. If it's good enough,
right.
I may download it. Who knows? So yeah, the fact that people think that maybe it was this Rachel Roy who denies it. Maybe it was this other lady named Rita Ora.
That's what I heard. It could have been Rita Ora.
Yeah, and she denied it too. And actually, like before this whole thing came out, she was on that Charlemagne the God Breakfast Club episode, and they asked her, straight up, like, did you sleep with Jay-Z? And she, flat out, like right at that, like at the instant, was just like, don't you ever disrespect Beyonce like that? No, I would never do that. That's not cool. Why would you ever say that? Blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, honestly, I would think that no, she wasn't a part of it, even though she posted a Snapchat.
Yeah, I saw that.
With like a lemon bra, and she had on a necklace that looked like a J.
Yeah, it was a J at the J initial on it.
That's what it looked like. But in actuality, she was looking in a mirrr.
So
it was like a mirror effect. So it was actually an R. You know what I'm saying? So maybe the R stood for Rockefeller, or maybe just stood for something R.
Interesting.
Her name is Rita. So, maybe that's what that is.
It could. And of course, like I said, the internet has no chill, and they'll run with it and say something else.
Yeah, that Charlemagne the God episode was back in 2014. So, it's been a couple years. And I know Rita was signed with Rock Nation she was signed with Rock Nation for like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe. And she was really tight with Beyonce. They would always hang out and whatnot. So why would she, want to do that? Now, I know that, like, I guess this past December in 2015, she filed a little lawsuit against Rock Nation because they didn't release some of her material that was ready for her second album. But I don't think, if you're in a lawsuit situation, you don't go to that where you're like, go and sleep with the person that you have the lawsuit with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Even though I'm sure it happens.
That's so strange.
But yeah, man, there's so much craziness going on. Let's see here. So I was listening to some of the lyrics. One of the songs, there's a lyric that says, I can wear her skin on mine, her hair over mine, her hands as gloves, her teeth as confetti. That's some Silence of the Lambs stuff right there.
Yeah, exactly. That's some borderline psychopath mental institution type things right there. Charles Manson type stuff.
Exactly. She had some other pretty good songs. There's one called Sandcastles where it's sort of like a sad song. There's some crying, like it makes you feel like you want to cry and be sad for her. It sounds like, the house is a sandcastle and it's getting washed away, if you will. There's Freedom, which is just like, don't quit, don't give up on your life or your relationship or whatever. Obviously the hit Formation. And then the one that probably set off all these women was a song called Hold Up. And that song, they go, she has a lyric, while she's walking through the streets with a bat in her hand, like exploding car windows with a baseball bat and just beating up and breaking down everything in sight. And part of her line is like, what's worse, being jealous or crazy? Jealous or crazy? Jealous or crazy? And like, so she goes on and on about what's worse, being jealous or crazy. And, that's part of the song. And, I'm going to have to say like the beat behind it, the tune, which she sampled from quite a few different places. It's a good song. Like, I think it's pretty hot, but that's probably the one thing where women was just like crazy and, had people all across the country like looking at their dude, you know what I'm saying? Like a different way than they would have before. So if you get a chance to, when that music is finally available for the world to really download, because I think it's just on Tidal right now. And it's on Apple Music, but not in America. It's available outside of the country. But if you're in America, you could get it on Tidal, which is a whole other story. Yeah, get that hold up because that's a sick tune. I like it.
Yeah, I guess I may have to check it out based on your recommendation.
I mean, at least go to YouTube and try to find some people who could do a good cover on it. As long as they have like the beat behind it, you'll have a good sense of the song.
Right.
But remember, she's walking through the streets with a baseball bat, breaking stuff, saying, what's worse, being jealous or crazy? Those other girls don't love you like I do. She can't love you like I can, like all this stuff. So it gets nuts. Then, then she talks about stuff that went on with her dad, which they have a shaky relationship and their baby and their weddings, like all up in there. So it's nuts, man. Okay. For anybody out there, if you have a girlfriend, if you have a wife, do not watch this video with your significant other. Okay? If they're watching it, please leave the room. Please leave the house. Or go and make her some breakfast or a sandwich.
Or just turn electricity off.
Rub her feet. Yeah. Or hope that the lights go out. Go to the store and get her like a thing of flowers and just act like natural and normal because after they watch this video, they're going to look at you with a side eye like crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and hide all your baseball bats.
Yes. If you have baseball bats, if you have anything that could be considered a bat, a stick, a club, a switch, hide it.
Definitely.
Man, just hide it. Yeah, man. Oh, speaking of Beyonce, didn't you tell me a story? Maybe your old friend from back in the day told a story about getting Beyonce's phone number, like when she was in Destiny's Child.
Yes. Wow. This was back in high school. So high school, late 90s, good friend of mine. All right. So there was these cousins back in high school that were cousins, or these girls back in high school that were cousins with LaToya Luckett. So, and we all were in the same grade, all in the same classrooms and whatnot. So I think my good friend, he, for some reason, happened to get the number from them because, of course, Destiny's Child wasn't as known as they were today.
Oh, yeah, she was one of the original members. That's right.
Yeah. So, if you could remember that. So he happened to get the number. He actually called the phone number. He didn't speak to Beyonce, but he spoke to Beyonce's mom, from what I understand. From what he told me, I guess she answered the phone and say, "Hey, Beyonce's not in at the moment," so she's doing music stuff. So yeah, that was the last I heard of it. I don't think he called back at that time.
Dude, let me just tell you, we were that close. We were that close to Beyonce.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying like I was there, like you.
Like 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah, like 6 degrees of freaking Kevin Bacon. Like we were that close. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. That is so cool. Wow.
Very weird. Very weird. Very cool.
It's too bad. It's too bad that it's too bad that he didn't talk to her. I mean, I really wonder what that conversation would have been like.
Yeah, I mean, he's a smooth dude. Who knows? They could have been married to this day. Yeah,
he is pretty slick. Well, I mean, he would have had to have a bomb rap career if he was going to stay married to her. Apparently, that's what she wanted. She wanted some Jay-Z. So maybe it would have lasted, maybe not. But who knows? Maybe she wouldn't have this Lemonade album out like it is. You know what I'm saying?
Never know what could happen.
Maybe it'd be like Purple Kool-Aid or something like that.
Yeah, there you go. Purple Kool-Aid.
Yeah, that's
a great drink. Some great drink.
Some purple stuff. Yeah. Oh, I guess not that purple stuff. Yeah. And you know what? Luckett. I have to tell you, I'm pretty sure, I have to ask my mom, but I'm pretty sure that we are actually related to some Lucketts.
Interesting.
There was some Luckett family in Houston. LaToya was not in that family, as far as I knew, but there was a Luckett family in Houston, which is where they're from, who I know that we spent some time with when I was a kid. So I'll have to ask my mom. Maybe we're still that close to Beyonce and we just don't know it.
Yeah.
even though she's pretty far away because they ain't in the same group anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure they're still tight. So, yeah, so that is so wild. Man, oh man. Okay, so.
Can't believe I relived that.
Beehive, please speak back to us. Anybody in the Beehive, you know anybody that's a fan, that is a Beehive fan, yeah, please send them our link. Let them listen in.
Just don't flood our inbox or our comment section with bees and honey and flowers and whatever you do.
Yeah. We don't want no lemons and bees.
Yeah, there you go.
Unless you're being nice with them lemons and bees. So yeah, man. So that's crazy. So from one music drop to another one, views from the 6.
Or as I like to call it, views from the recycle bin.
Oh, dang. Here we go. So Drake, Mr. Champagne Poppy, Mr. Channing Tatum himself, dropped views from the 6, the long-awaited album. I think it's been 2 or 3 years since he dropped the album. So everybody was waiting. I mean, he had like this whole beef with Meek Mill for a long time. And I mean, some of those tunes that he put out while he was beefing with him, were pretty hot, like back to back.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Those diss tracks were good. Back to back was great.
That was cool. And, I was expecting to see back to back on views, so I was expecting to see like back to back 1 and 2 on views just because it was so hot. It wasn't that long ago that he put them out. So I was expecting to see that. I didn't see that on views. What did you think of the views from the 6? From
what I heard, and of course I don't have Apple Music, but the things that I did hear, I mean, I heard the whole album. I was able to find it and stream it.
Don't tell anybody that.
Shh. Yeah. So I said stream it.
Stream. Oh yeah, you streamed it. Okay.
Yeah, I streamed it from somewhere. But man, I don't know. I went into this album thinking I was gonna get, like you said, a back-to-back type flows and back-to-back type lyrics and just something hard hitting, but I don't know, man. It's like when I hear a lot of Drake's music, I feel the need to light some candles and incense and
from this. Oh dang, yeah.
I mean, just a lot of his music, period, and just like curl up on the couch with a box of tissues and cry or something. I feel like his music is catered more towards women and these sexy flexy dudes out there.
Oh,
but I don't know, man. There was only like a couple songs off of here that I really enjoyed, and that was Views and I think it was Western Road Flows. That was about it. I mean, everything else was like, I'm not buying this.
You're like, whatever. Yeah. I mean, I think he had. I think it took a while for it to really take off. There's 20 songs on this album, and I mean, I think it took like about 6 or 7 tracks, maybe 9 tracks, before it really started to pick up. But yeah, I have a friend who listened to it, on the day it dropped, and he was like, "Man, it's slow," and so like that's what I was expecting before I had a chance to listen to it. I do have Apple Music. I did, have a chance to listen to all the songs. I just basically binge listened last night, and which is like 2 nights since it dropped, I guess. And yeah, I mean, I don't think it's overall terrible. I think there's some songs in there that are just like, all right, where the heck did this come from? Cause like, they sound like, like you said, they're slow and they make you want to light some incense. But I think, there's still some hits up in there. Like you said, Views is good because it has like a gospel feel to it. I sort of like that. I also like Faithful because they have my H-Town homie Pimp C on there. From UGK. Let's see here. Feel No Ways was all right, but you could tell he was up in his feels on that one because he was talking about like a crazy relationship. But yeah, like you said, there's a lot of relationship stuff because there's one song just before the end called Child's Play. And actually we posted an Instagram meme that we reposted from Cheesecake Factory, which has him sitting on top of this like yummy looking cheesecake, and it says Views on it, and it's to make fun of his Views from the 6 album art. In that song he talks about why you got to yell at me a cheesecake, and yeah, man. So it's sort of like watch out for your crazy girl. Now, a couple songs I did love, like Hotline Bling. I mean, that every time I hear that, it makes me want to get up.
Oh my God! And do the dance,
that silly cell phone dance with both my hands.
Dude, did you see the parody of that? It was called Hot Sign Bling.
No, I had to find it.
Go
Hot
to
Sign Bling.
Hot Sign Bling. So it was have you ever watched Wild 'N Out on MTV2? Nick Cannon. Well, there's a guy on there called Doughboy, and I guess he does work with All Def Digital. That's Russell Simmons. I guess it's one of his little side companies, and you could go to youtube.com and search All Def Digital. But late last year, he did a parody of it called Hot Sign Bling, and it's pretty much.
Or is it Bling or Blink?
Bling.
Bling. Okay.
And it's pretty much I guess when you go to these like Krispy Kreme or any of these little corner stores that have hot food ready, and Doughboy, he's a pretty big guy, so it was funny. You got to check it out. Definitely check it out.
Okay, yeah, I just popped it up on YouTube in front of me. Yeah, that plays to the Fat Drake parody sign. That's hilarious. He's eating Krispy Kreme. That's good, man. I have to watch that after this show is over. That's great, man. Yeah. So Hotline Bling, I loved it. Right. Still here. So I guess he's trying to tell everyone that he hasn't left and become Hollywood. He's still from the city. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I like Controller. There's a song called Controller.
Yeah, I heard
like
that.
A little reggae behind it. That was pretty hot. This one called 9. Which he has a lyric in there that said he turned the 6 upside down and now it's a 9. And it's a 9 now. So I guess, telling everybody that basically he came and turned the world upside down. And so everybody loves Toronto now for some reason. Right. And then the one that I had that I and apparently a lot of people have a lot of questions about is Pop Style.
Okay.
So, did you hear Pop Style when it came out?
I heard it. Yes, I did.
Yeah, he's talking about like turn his birthday into a lifestyle or whatever. So the beat is hitting in there, like it's good. In the original release, a few weeks before this came out, they had like 4 words from Jay-Z, and then Kanye like finishes and rips off on the track, and Kanye has like a pretty hot verse. Jay-Z like decided to do like 1/4 of a bar. You know what I'm saying? Like.
That's all he could afford.
I guess so. But come to find out, I guess Drake, sent the beat over to Kanye, sort of sent his flow over to Kanye and was like, Kanye, go ahead and put a verse on there. So Kanye did his verse, but when he sent it back, Jay-Z was at the beginning. So Drake was like, what the heck? So Kanye was like, yeah, man, Jay was just over here. I told him to drop some lines on it. So he basically started a verse for me, and then I finished the verse. And so Drake initially, like, this is what he said. Like, he had a little interview just before Views drop. He was like, Jay's verse kind of just landed in my lap, and I just sort of dealt with it. And I guess he just tried to release it, just as it was. He just released it just as it was, just because it was already there, it was already ready to go. He was ready to drop it, and maybe he convinced himself that it was hot, with Jay and Kanye the way it was, or maybe he, just didn't want to deal with trying to figure out how to get Jay-Z off of it and get more Kanye and no Jay-Z. So he just dropped it, and, everybody loved it, even though there was tons of questions about why, Jay-Z, only had such a short line in there. And there's not really much explanation on it. And then all of a sudden when Views from the 6 dropped, no Jay-Z, no Kanye. They're both off the track. So maybe he wanted to release it all, but I guess maybe if there was so much controversy that he just decided just to drop them. He said he just wanted to put his version because he liked his version better. Maybe it was negative feedback. Maybe it was a quote unquote business move. I don't know, but maybe behind the scenes, there was a little bit of back and forth, and Kanye or he was trying to get Kanye to like go and tell Jay-Z, hey, I don't really want, or I guess, want to do this verse without you, because of all the backlash. So maybe he was trying to get that finagled and he couldn't figure it out. They couldn't get it done in time, and he needed to drop it. So maybe he just dropped it with his own version. So
right,
yeah, man. I don't know what you think about Jay-Z and Kanye not being on that final track.
I I don't know. Maybe Drake had his own views.
Yes. Yeah, I guess he did have his own views. I mean, to your point earlier, I mean, at least this time he's not recycling. He actually put just his verse instead.
Yeah,
so I
exactly.
guess he half recycled. He's like, he threw away half of the cardboard and the other half he put in the recycle bin. So, so I don't know. So that got me thinking, which could actually, lead us into our next topic. But, if anybody has any hashtag views on this Views album, yeah, definitely let us know if you think it's hashtag Blackout certified. Let us know if you think it's, if you like Views, you just hit us up with a hashtag and just let us know on any of our ports on SoundCloud, on Twitter, wherever. Just let us know. But I was thinking, if there was a rap civil war, like Drake and Kanye and Jay-Z, they're all friends, from what we know. They're all friends. Maybe until this incident. So I was trying to figure out if there was a rap civil war, just like Captain America Civil War that's coming up, who would be like the two sides that might fight? Like, and this
that's going to be tough.
And I just took it from the standpoint of, maybe Drake has like a mini beef with Kanye and Jay-Z for collaborating on a track that was just supposed to be Kanye.
Uh-huh.
So I was thinking maybe Drake and his side, Team Drake, would be fighting against Team Jay and Team Kanye. So I know I just barely dropped that on you overnight to think about. Do you have any possible like current rappers or musicians or older musicians, from back in the day that would be good, good fodder for a civil war?
Well, I mean, I have a lot of rappers on my list. I mean, I'm not going to say a ton, but none of these rappers, I really don't want to put it out there like, hey, these guys are beefing.
Yeah,
because
go ahead and put that out there. This is not actually a beef. This is just all made up by us right now.
I mean, okay, I tell you what, let's do it like this. Okay, so who are you, Team Cap or Team Iron Man?
Oh, dang. Okay, so I love Iron Man to death, but Captain America seems like the most genuine between the two.
Okay.
So I go with Team Cap.
Okay, so let's say you're Team Cap. Let's put your list of people under Team Cap.
Okay.
And then I'll go ahead. I'll be Team Iron Man because I really don't care what side it is. I'll just go with whoever. I just want to see the movie.
Okay, same here.
So go ahead and drop your Team Cap.
Oh wow. Okay. Wow. Well, I actually had two separate teams, but in this situation, I'm probably going to have mine be some more, I guess, some newer artists. I think most of these are newer artists.
Okay.
There's a few not. So, and I think there might be a few extra than Captain America versus Iron Man.
Okay, that's fine.
In this
cool.
one. So we have not Jake. Not Jake. We have Drake.
Okay.
Right? We have Young Metro, because if Young Metro don't trust you, you're going to get shot.
Okay.
So we got Drake, Young Metro, we got Party Next Door, we got Tyga, because he got woman issues. Let's see here. We have Lil Wayne, because everybody likes his crazy sound.
Okay.
We have Rick Ross. And Rick Ross would probably be my Hulk, I guess, in this situation, even though Hulk's not supposed to be in this movie. And then for the ladies, I have Nicki Minaj and Beyonce.
Wow, Beyonce. Interesting.
Queen B.
Okay, so my Team Iron Man, and if this was a hip hop civil war,
hip hop civil war,
I would only get the best of the best lyricists.
Hip hop and R&B
in my head, and I didn't even consider R&B. So you probably might not get any R&B. All right, actually, I'm going to throw an R&B guy in there at the end. Okay, so first one, I'm going to go with Royce the 5'9".
Okay.
So if you don't know Royce the 5'9", then whoever out there, they're sleeping under a rock and don't know hip hop. So let's go Royce the 5'9". We're going to go Crooked I. So we're going to go after that. Let's push it to, I'm going to go Lupe Fiasco.
Oh, Lupe. He's a little crazy. I would see him being like a wild guy. So.
I mean, lyricism, I think he'll take your head off. So let's see, that's 3 right there. How many people on Team Iron Man? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6. So we got, I guess, a total of 6. We're going to go with Logic. He's a newer young guy. I'm going to put him as my Spider-Man equivalent.
Okay.
He's the young guy. Who else can I go with? Let's go with Kendrick Lamar, because he's a popular guy this time, and I feel he could get his point across. He has that passion and that emotion in his voice, kind of like Pac did back in the day.
And didn't Obama pick him over Drake? I think Obama picked him over Drake.
Good. Well, that's a great thing, because I don't think we need anybody crying in the White House. So, all right. So with that, and then I'm gonna go with Tech 9. Not the Tech 9 out of, I think there's a battle rapper Tech 9 in New York City, but I'm going to go with Kansas City, Missouri Tech 9.
Oh, wow.
So,
Tech 9?
And then for my last, I'm going to go with Anderson .Paak as my R&B singer type guy. He's a new guy on the scene, but he's killing it. I love him.
Anderson .Paak, like P-A-C, like Tupac?
Like P-A-A-K.
Oh, what?
Yeah, got to check him out.
P-A-A-K, is he Indian, like from the land of India?
No.
No? Oh no, that's nuts. All right, wow. Well, I guess it's sort of new versus obscure, old school and new school. Wow, that's crazy.
It's a civil war. I mean, I have other people on the list. It's just like I said, it's a hard thing to do when you're trying to pin people up against each other. Now, say if we did this like back in like 96 and you had like Tupac versus Biggie, Team Pac, Team Biggie, then that'll be quite the challenge right there.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. There's so many great rappers back then. I mean, you could throw in DMX, who came, well, I guess no, DMX was later after that. But you could throw in, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, oh my gosh, Q-Tip, like there's so many you could throw in back then. So I'm trying to figure out all your people. Mm-hmm. Who is the leader of your group?
That's a great question.
Who is the Iron Man of your team?
Would be the Iron Man of my group. I'm gonna place Tech 9 as the Iron Man, since he has the larger discography. I'll say he's been in the game since like early 90s, mid 90s. So I'm going to put him in. He's still on the incline, so he's not stopping. So I'm putting him as my Iron Man.
Speaking of iron, I mean, Tech 9, that just sounds like a gun. So there you go. That's perfect. Yeah, I think, and it's so funny. I think like most of your rappers, I mean, they seem like they have like some kind of like possible superhero
special ability
name, I guess. Yeah, Crooked Eye. You got Lupe Fiasco. Lupe Fiasco, who's probably like an animal or something like that crazy. You got Logic, Professor X. Hello.
Yeah, true.
Tech 9 obviously sounds like the weapons guy. I don't know. It sounds like you got some good people there. I'm trying to think. Beyonce would definitely be like Queen Bee or something like that.
Like the Black Widow of the group.
Yeah, pretty much. Nicki Minaj would have to be, the magician.
Scarlet Witch.
Who gets Scarlet Witch? Yeah, who gets everybody to like her.
Okay.
Somehow with like some crazy freaking song. Rick Ross, like I said, would be, the Hulk or like the muscle guy on this side. With them chicken wings, he'd probably be like throwing like lemon pepper chicken wings.
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe if I had a Hulk, I was honestly considering that I'd probably put Busta Rhymes as the Hulk.
Yeah,
but
he's not big though. He's like a skinny dude.
No, Busta Rhymes is huge now.
Is Busta big?
But dude, Busta's like yoked. He's like big. I mean, I know back in like the early 90s, he was a skinny little guy, but now he has muscles. He's like this. I want to call him big fat.
What?
He's like big as far as muscles, but then he has the gut like he's been eating good. So you got to look up a picture of him.
Oh, yes. I just brought up his picture. And yeah, Busta Rhymes is not the same Busta Rhymes that we know from back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of like on that. I know you've seen pictures of Dave Chappelle. Like within the past year, he's gotten huge.
Don't tell me Dave Chappelle fat.
No,
now.
not fat. He's got muscle bound Dave.
Oh, okay, good. Whew, man, you about to ruin my sensibilities if you just did that to me with Buster and then Dave Chappelle.
No.
Okay, yeah, Dave Chappelle. Yeah, I can see he had a little muscle going on with him. I see that. Trying to look like old school Louis Gossett Jr. Man, look at that, man. Dave
That's
Chappelle.
true.
Boy, he should star in a comedy remake of Iron Eagle.
Wow. Whoa.
That would be great.
Wow. Yeah. I have no words for that. But
You know what I'm saying? Like
I could see that.
Anything Louis Gossett Jr. Like Dave Chappelle should go back and do a comedy version. There's a picture. I'm looking at him right now. It looks like he has on like this vest, sort of like a vest. It could be a military vest, and he's actually saluting with the cigarette in his mouth.
With a cigarette in his mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. That's your new Iron Eagle, Dave Chappelle, right there, boy. Hollywood, bring it to us. Bring back Lou Gossett Jr. In a as a cameo. If he's not passed away yet. And make Dave Chappelle the star of a comedy remake.
Louis Gossett Jr. is his son. Or Dave Chappelle is Louis Gossett Jr.'s son.
Yeah, that'll be a cool addition. Okay, so back to this. All right. So Tyga would be like Tigra. Thundercats. Hello. Thank you very much. I just pulled that out. Let's see here. Lil Wayne would be like the short and quick, fast guy.
Like Nightcrawler.
Crazy looking. Like Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler.
There you go. Drake would be the leader on this side, even though I said Team Captain America, so I wouldn't necessarily say Drake would be like the most genuine of all of it. But you know what? If you go back to like Degrassi Drake, yes.
Wheelchair Jimmy.
Wheelchair Jimmy. He would be like the freaking Professor Xavier slash Wheelchair Jimmy at the same time. Wow. And then Young Metro is definitely the weapons guy, because everybody knows if Young Metro don't trust you, then you're gonna get shot, I guess. So I don't know. Young Metro may not trust you after this podcast. You better watch out.
Wow.
Just playing. Yeah, man. So
that was fun.
That was freaking fun. So yeah, man. Let's talk about some Civil War.
Yes, let's do that.
Real Captain America Civil War, not this rapper stuff. What do you expect to come from Civil War?
So what I'm expecting, I'm expecting a lot more of the same Marvel formula. Lots of action, lots of OMG moments, just a lot of everything big, Black Panther and Spidey. Can't forget those. Those are going to be the two new stars that are going to have their own breakout movie. I'm expecting to see what kind of action they get into, because I hear the fight between Black Panther and Bucky Barnes is pretty intense, and it seems pretty one-sided. And I'm not going to tell you what side is doing all the butt kicking, but it's kind of obvious.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think about the future of the Marvel movies, and the fact that we know that there is a Black Panther movie coming up.
Yes.
Maybe, I'm to think that that's who's going to win. I don't know. This is what I'm thinking. I'm really excited. After seeing the Winter Soldier movie, obviously after seeing Ultron and Avengers and the rest of the Captain America movies, after seeing Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see these teams come together, and fight against each other. I think it's cool. I think that obviously I'm on Team Cap's side just from what I said earlier. But I really expect there to be some good fireworks. I expect there to be obviously some bloodshed, and I was talking to my son about it, about what I think might happen in the movie. And I'm thinking, what might happen is, they might get pissed off at each other, start to fight each other. A lot of stuff go down in the movie between friends that weren't friends anymore. Obviously, from the trailer, we see, Cap, Iron Man, and Winter Soldier all fighting,
right,
which is just a crazy visual from the first trailer we ever saw that came out about it. And then I expect Crossbones, who we know is going to be in the movie, to maybe cause some trouble and get the heroes who are pitted against each other to fight for a common cause again. So that's what I think. I forgot part of the comic because I did read the comic. But yeah, that's sort of what I feel. And I expect it to be, a knockdown drag out between a lot of the characters. I think, the characters I'm most excited to see in this rendition would definitely be, Black Panther and what he's going to bring to the table. Is definitely Ant-Man and his integration, into this, into the Marvel cinematic universe, and obviously Spider-Man.
Yeah, of course.
I really want to see, what Spider-Man's going to do. If he's just going to be a bit of an addition, like we're just going to see a small cameo of him, like at the end, which I guess maybe won't happen because we see them in that ultimate fight. Yeah. Or if he's going to have a really big role, if he's going to have multiple Spidey suits, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's going to have bigger than what we think. Because of course they had a latest release of a trailer that showed him fighting the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes.
Oh man, you ain't have to spoil that.
Okay. I mean, of course it's online,
it's
so everybody saw it. Everybody saw it.
Okay.
So he has some. I'm really curious to see the exchange between him and Tony Stark. So Spider-Man, Peter Parker and Tony Stark, because I'm sure I would hope they go into some kind of story of where they actually meet, of course. And I know there's been a lot of talk that Iron Man or Tony Stark, the suit that Spider-Man wears is kind of developed by Tony Stark. There's some technology.
Like an Iron Spider type suit or something?
Not really the Iron Spider suit, but just like some of his mechanics and stuff like that. Say like the mechanical eyes, and then you could see on his suit he actually has like these extra cartridges for his web slingers. So there was some talk about maybe Tony Stark had some additional development of that, to go into his suit. I mean, we'll see. I don't know 100%. So, I really want to hear their exchange because they're two very quick-witted people. So I really want to hear exchanges between them two, especially, when Spider-Man grabbed Bucky Barnes' arm and he's like, "Whoa, dude, you got a mechanical arm? That's so cool." So I really want to hear that. Yeah. Also, like you said, the coming together of all the characters in the movie. I really want to see how all those stories kind of tie in. I know we've seen the introduction of Ant-Man, him meeting Captain America.
Yeah.
He's a funny character in himself, so that's going to be nice. And also, lastly, I think that's coming to mind is the post-credit scenes, because I hear there are two different ones. I mean, really? Of course, in the same movie, but two different scenes. So I'm sure you have to stay, of course, completely to the end.
Oh, always, yeah.
I know there was a premiere last week and they didn't show any of the post-credit scenes because of fear they would get leaked online and everybody would know what's expected. So,
I think that's so cool. I'm happy that they did that because, it would get leaked out there. I mean, anybody looking for information about it could get a spoiler. And then as soon as one spoiler is dropped on a big enough website, it goes to the masses and everybody will find out. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
That's wild. So yeah, so you're saying that there was no info, no spoilers?
Nothing. Not at all. I mean, I'm wondering if it'll tie in or allude to anything with Black Panther, maybe new Spider-Man movie, maybe the new Thor movie.
Oh yeah, Ragnarok.
Yeah, so I don't know how everything is going to come together. The Marvel universe is so big at the moment because you got things like everything is tying back to the Infinity Wars. So
yeah.
I'm curious to see how everything is just going to tie in once it's all coming together.
Which Infinity War is going to be a freaking sick.
It's going to be a monster, man. It's going to be a monster. They're going to have to split that up into I think they said 2 different movies.
Yeah, I think it's 2. I think it's
2 different movies. So
yeah, but this is what confused me initially because I know they had Captain America: Civil War and the whole premise behind it. And, apparently, they take some elements from the comics and some don't. But I remember reading the Civil War comic on my really cool Marvel Unlimited app. And when you're looking at the Civil War comic and they get to this point where both sides are pitted against each other, I mean, there's like 500 people fighting each other.
Yeah.
It seems like, you know what I'm saying? Like the pages, it's like, you know, it's a 2-page layout.
Yeah.
You know, and you see the pages are basically filled up with the exception of a couple corners of the page are filled up with characters on Cap's side, you know, and on Iron Man's side. I know that, you know, there's like a different take on a couple of characters, in that, you know, in that issue of the comic. And I know that, and you know, I know that, they can't, you know, necessarily put all the characters in there because Sony has rights and everybody has
it's like
rights to everything.
Deadpool said in this movie, you guys couldn't afford any other X-Men. So yeah, I'm sorry the studio couldn't afford to put any other, superheroes in here.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you have Cap's side, you have, Iron Man's side, you have good guys and bad guys on both sides. You have, I believe it's the Inhumans coming in, or somebody coming in the background, through, you know, through Prism 42 or whatever it's called. And you have people flying. I mean, you know, and actually in this version, you know, in the actual Civil War comic, Spider-Man is flying in on Captain America's side. So I wonder if that's going to happen in the movie.
Wow.
I wonder if he's going to turn coat in the middle of the battle. I don't know. There's so much.
I don't know. We don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait.
Yeah, Daredevil's in it. You know, Captain Marvel is in it. You know, there's Wasp is in it. There's so many characters that we haven't seen yet. You know, that we haven't seen yet that are in this comic. So initially it sort of threw me off and made me sad that we don't really have all these characters available to really make it a real cool Civil War. But then again, it might get too cluttered.
Yeah, it'll get too cluttered. You wouldn't be able to focus on, I'm sure some people would want to see Daredevil fighting somebody. Some people want to see Captain America. You know, it'd be so all over the place that I don't think there would be enough time to even edit that into 2 movies. You'd have to
It would have to be, yeah.
I'm sure one movie would have to be just fighting. You know, nothing else.
Yeah. Just fighting, just like Ultron, just tons of fight scenes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, man, it's too bad that, you know, they're not all available. Maybe, you know, once all these movies, finally drop, you know, maybe somebody will make a nice supercut of a lot of different characters fighting each other.
Right.
Because I mean, it would be so cool to see, Spider-Man, you know, fighting against Venom in this, you know, current version of the universe. It would be so cool, you know, to see the Fantastic Four characters fighting against each other, you know, in this current universe. It'd be so cool. So maybe one day, that stuff will actually come out and we'll see that. So,
that's right.
So
maybe there'll be a Netflix mashup. All the characters on Netflix, all the characters in the Sony and Marvel and Fox. Wow, that is pretty big because I don't know why it just came to mind because X-Men is about to come out like within the next month, and I mean it's in the same universe, but it's a whole different monster in its own. Exactly.
I mean, you know, wouldn't that be just sick? Like if Wolverine was there, like fighting against somebody else who you know basically regenerates or not necessarily regenerates, but somebody else who, you know, basically almost can't be killed. Like if Wolverine was fighting against, like Deadpool, like somehow if they were pitted against each other, you know, or if Hulk was fighting against, Beast or, you know, just crazy. Like it would be cool, but you know.
Yeah. And of course, you know, now that you bring that up, Hulk nor Thor are in this. Or is Thor?
Do they even make a cameo? Maybe Thor makes a cameo.
I'm sure Bruce Banner might make a cameo. But as far as like Hulk, I don't think, of course, nobody would be able to even handle Hulk. So it would be no fair. It would be no fair to anybody. Even Thor, I don't think anybody could actually handle Thor because Thor's a Norse god, you know, and Hulk and Thor pretty much fought in that Avengers movie. You know, and Thor looked like he pretty much liked that type of stuff. So he's the battle type guy. So I don't think anybody could actually handle Thor or Thor's mighty hammer.
Yeah, mighty hammer. Stop on Thor's mighty hammer. Everyone, pause on that and pause. All right. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I would be excited to see them, even in a cameo situation. I mean, we know, from the end of Ultron, if you haven't seen Ultron, we know that Bruce Banner, flies off, in the Quinjet, I guess. Is that a Quinjet, right? In Ultron, it's in one of those dang Avengers jets.
Yeah.
Whatever the jet is called. He flies away off into Never Never land and
with the Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah, with the Rainbow Bridge. Some people speculate, that it goes along lines with some of the Hulk comic books, that he's going to go off to a tropical island and just sort of chill for a while, just chill out. But I'd love to see him in a cameo. I'd love to see Thor. Since he hasn't been pictured so far, I'd love to see him, at least in a cameo, or maybe, from Asgard, from Asgard, looking at, the Asgardian, whatever magical ball back at Earth and seeing what the heck is going on and be like, dang, they got too many problems. I ain't trying to go fix that. Or maybe, just maybe, okay, this would be cool. Like, I'm thinking of a post-credit scene. Maybe he sees what's happening between his friends. He decides to fly back to Earth. And on the way back to Earth, he runs into Thanos. You know what I'm saying? Because I know they have to bring in Thanos. They've been teasing him so much.
Yeah.
Since his first appearance in Guardians. So that would be cool. To see, maybe a run-in with Thanos, and then Doctor Strange is coming. We get into other dimensions. Like, it just goes bananas for the next few movies.
Yeah, it's too much, man. I hate to say it, but I'm getting superheroed out a little bit.
No, you're not.
A little bit. I mean, just a very little bit. I'm still excited for everything. I want to see everything, but I think it's just so much going on. There's so much to look forward to. That
you're the one who got me into superheroes.
I know, but that was when superhero movies were coming out like once every 4 or 5 years.
True.
But now it's just like we're gonna release 4 or 5 a year. So what's next? We have, of course, Civil War, X-Men, Doctor Strange,
Suicide Squad.
Come on, that's like 4 more, and then we already released Batman v Superman, Deadpool, and wasn't there something else? I don't know if there was something else, but so far that's going to be 6.
Ultron. Yeah, Ultron was last year.
Okay, so far that's going to be 6 this year. So just imagine what next year is going to bring.
And then the next year is supposed to bring Guardians 2.
Yes, Black Panther.
Black Panther. Is Thor Ragnarok coming in as well?
Possibly, and I think Spider-Man too. Spider-Man as well.
Homecoming. Yeah, and then of course, the Justice League eventually. Wonder Woman's movie. Oh, there's going to be so many. So, yeah, I mean, I see what you mean. They've sort of gone like superhero bananas. And
because ultimately it's what makes money. You're going to make your money back regardless.
Oh, yeah. And there's so many of these stories that people actually really want to see. Like, everybody, a lot of people out there really want to see a Black Widow movie. Like, I don't think we're going to get that, unfortunately. No. I sort of want to see a Hawkeye movie because of the new line of Hawkeye comics that came out. It shows like a more gritty version of Hawkeye, in New York City.
Uh-huh.
And I would love to see that origin. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see that, by itself. I mean, maybe it could be like a Netflix original, 2 or 3 movie series, for both of those characters. But I'd really like to see that. I mean, there's been too many. Okay, we're bringing back Spider-Man. Okay, we're bringing back Spider-Man. Okay, here comes Spider-Man again.
Yeah.
I love Spider-Man. Don't get me wrong. He's one of my favorite characters of all time. But that being said, like I think we've had enough dang origin. We know that his uncle dies.
Yeah.
We know that he gets bit by a freaking radioactive spider.
Exactly.
We know that he's like a kid, like in high school. Like, we know all that stuff. Why don't you give us something different?
Yeah, it's like along the lines of Bruce Wayne and his parents. We know his parents got killed. We know the association with the pearls, but they show it every single movie.
Every freaking movie they have a flashback, and I do appreciate the storyline. I do know that there's a lot of people out there, mostly the younger audience,
that don't know,
that have no clue, and I appreciate the fact that they're trying to, give them a little bit of backstory, give them a little exposition, But I mean, at some point you just got to move on and say, hey, watch the other movie.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Go read the comic. So yeah, so I don't know. So I really want to know what our listeners feel about this movie coming up. I mean, we're going to be releasing not long before the movie actually drops. So hopefully people will be able to listen to that, and then, we could do a review after the movie comes out.
I'd like to do that. Definitely like to do that. I'm sure that'll turn into a long, very long talk about that movie.
Yeah. So, yeah, for sure. I mean, we could probably make it one full episode. Maybe we could do a bonus, like when we drop that Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Then of course we're going to have to do a review of X-Men. And I mean, everything. Suicide Squad eventually when that comes out. Course, I got to see that. I think that one's, I'm more excited for that one than X-Men, or I'm gonna put it on the level of my excitement is Suicide Squad and Captain America Civil War. I'm putting those on equal level.
Top two?
Yeah, for me, those are the top two.
Yeah. I would say I'm probably right there with you because we already know what the X-Men are all about. I know that this is going to be different. Obviously, it seems like the stakes are heightened in this new version that's coming out. But I guess we've all been sort of teased and flirted with all this Captain America, Iron Man back and forth.
Yes,
and the fact that that we all know it's got to come to a head at some point in time. And the other characters that are coming in, Black Panther. Oh man, so much! Can't wait to see him in live action. So I'm very excited for that. And then Suicide Squad. I am a fan of Batman and Superman. Superman mostly. If you listen to that Batman versus Superman podcast that we did, but seeing the Joker come in, who is probably my favorite villain in the DC world.
Yeah, definitely.
Just because he's sort of bonkers, we know, and seeing all the rest of those baddies come in, a few of which I have no clue about, don't really know much about them. Like I really am excited to see Suicide Squad. The trailers have been pretty awesome.
Yeah.
They when they drop, like they're pretty great. At least maybe it's the music, maybe it's like the cinematography and the way they've cut the scenes together. But yeah, I'm definitely excited.
And everybody is excited to see Harley Quinn. Everybody. I mean, she's, what can you say? I mean, she's just that popular. She's going to be probably the breakout star in that particular movie. Yeah,
Margot Robbie. Yeah, she's gonna blow it up for sure. And yeah, there's a lot of people excited to see that. And I remember a specific Halloween one time where you and your wife did. Like your whole family did like amazing cosplay because you were Deadpool with this sick suit, and you even had a thought bubble.
That was great. Yes, I remember.
On your shoulder, which was hot. Your kids were superheroes. I think you had a Captain America and a Spider-Man.
Yes, that's correct.
And then your wife,
she was Harley Quinn, and I created the mallet for her. This crazy mallet that I still have to this day in the garage.
Sick. Yeah. I still remember that. I thought that was so fun, so great. And I mean, shoot, I didn't even really dress up. I just walked with y'all.
You had a luchador mask on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had my Nacho Libre mask, and I can't remember what T-shirt I had. Maybe it was a Captain America, or maybe it was a Mario T-shirt. I can't remember. But I was just walking around as him. But yeah, man, that was definitely a fun Halloween. If you could find a photo from that Halloween, I'd definitely like you to post that on Instagram.
Will do.
And reference Deadpool and Harley Quinn and whoever you want to. So yeah, that would be great. And actually, I guess the next Halloween, my son, either that Halloween or the next Halloween, my son was Rocket Raccoon.
Yes, I remember that.
So that was fun. So yeah, man, so excited for these movies to come out. So much crazy stuff went on this week. I don't even know. I mean, we ain't even talk about Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill.
Yeah, that's a long conversation right there.
Yeah, we can talk about that at another time maybe. But yeah, man, there's so much stuff that we talked about, so much stuff we still could talk about. But do you think this might be a good point to stop?
I think it is. I think it's a great part to stop.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to stop here. We definitely want to hear from, our fans out there, what you think of this Captain America Civil War movie that's coming up. Maybe you're going to listen to it before the movie. Maybe you'll listen after the movie, is out, and after you have a chance to see it or see some reaction from it. So definitely let us know. And then the Lemonade conspiracy, the Lemonade album, the Beehive, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Becky with the good hair. We want to know. By the way, Becky with the good hair is like a black way to say, a black girl with good hair or something like that. So we want to know what you guys think about that. We want to definitely know if anybody listened to Views from the Six and see, if you think it's trash can, if it's recycled or if it's actually hot. Anything we talked about, definitely hit us up. Let us know. Hit us with a hashtag. And Jay, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody where they can find us?
Well, you could hit us up on Twitter and Instagram at hashtag Blackout Pod. We will be uploading audio to YouTube under hashtag Blackout Podcast. If you got it,
which is up right now.
Yes, it is up 3 episodes in.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So if you have any suggestions, you could email us at hashtag blackoutpod@gmail.com. Leave us feedback, good, bad, ugly, ignorant. Please don't kill us, Beehive. But any feedback is good feedback. Yes, that drop.
Yeah, what's worse, being jealous of crazy people? What is worse? I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm neither. So
I don't know, man. Just stay away from freaking crazy women. Just stay away. All those single dudes out there and single ladies, stay away from crazy men and women, and then you're going to be fine.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Thank you guys for listening. I am Jared.
And I'm Jay. We're blacking out.
Peace.
Pew, 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 pew.